Hi FlossTube, my name's Mel and you've reached me at my channel Patchy Pony Stitcher. This is a video all about cross stitching. Today is Sunday the 12th of January 2025 and Happy New Year to everyone. It's been a little while since I have come on and done an update. I last updated you back in November. I purposely stayed away over the Christmas time because I knew there would be so much content available and I was just busy with work and Christmas and everything, so I decided that I wouldn't come back until January. So here we are. First of all, I would like to say welcome to all my new subscribers. My last video surprisingly saw quite a good leap in new subscribers, so if you're coming back to check me out, I'm really appreciative of you coming and doing that. And if you're a long time subscriber, thank you. Your support means a lot. So I hope you've all had a fantastic Christmas. I know I did. Christmas and New Year. It's always a busy time, and spending time with friends and family, but also all the excitement of Christmas and the work that goes into it, because there's a lot of work with Christmas, as we all know. In saying that though, there's been plenty of time for stitching and crafting. I've done a bit of finishing, which is always great. I've got 3 fully finishes for you today, and I've also been dabbling in a little bit of sourdough, well, learning how to do sourdough, and that's time consuming but very rewarding. So I've been very busy, and of course plenty of horse riding. Can't have summer without plenty of horse riding going on, so I will put some videos at the end for you if you are interested in that. So what I've got for you today is I've got a fully finished, I've got some great progress that I've made on my whips, and I've also got a giveaway, so stick around and let's get to it. Now, the first fully finished object that I'm going to be showing you today is one that's been around for a little while. It's the Little House Needleworks Farmhouse Christmas set. Now, this is a series of 9 patterns. They are small ones like this, and when they were released, you could do them as ornaments, or there was an option to do them all together, which is what I elected to do. So this has been in my whip pile for a while, and these were generously gifted to me by a viewer. So with these, I decided to do them all as one piece, but I didn't want it to be overly Christmassy, because here in Australia at Christmas, it's not winter time. So I didn't particularly want to have this piece out at Christmas. This will be a winter farmhouse piece that I will put on display during the winter time. So here is my fully finished farmhouse Christmas. Now, I have stitched this on a 32 count blue linen. I'm not sure where the linen, whether it was over dyed, but I know it's a Zweigart based linen. And I started off using the called for. Now, these do have called for of Classic Colourworks, but I found the variegation wasn't as great as it is on the models. So once I ran out of my first skein, I just switched to the DMC of that one, and you cannot tell at all. So I'm really happy with how this went. So I'm going to bring this in for a close-up. So as I said, I did the 9 patch. Now, you do have the option of a second and third border on the website, which I started to do, but I was just over it by the time I got to having them all 9 together, so I just wanted to get it up. And I'm pretty happy with how that's turned out anyway, because it's more wintry, opposed if you put in the green and the red additional borders, it would have made it a bit more Christmassy. So I've got all of the 9. I don't think there was any set way on how to do the outlay. I've just literally chosen mine. I just tried to keep the bigger houses not too close together, and the patchwork quilt in the middle. So I've only just popped this one in. It's not completely in there yet. I still need to do a little bit of finagling to so it's just popped into the frame, but this is the frame that it's going to be in. But I wanted to show you today what the final product will look like. So this is the Farmhouse Christmas. So if you stay tuned a bit through to the end, there is going to be a giveaway for these full set of the 9 charts. So happy with how that one turned out, and so happy that it's finally out of my whip pile, because that one has been there for a long time. So that one I used to use really more for challenge stitches. So I'm glad, it's just nice to get a big one like that out of your WIP pile. Now the second fully finished that I'm going to show you is a retreat piece from the Daisy Chain Stitchery Retreat from 2023. I'm going to have to put in the photo here of what it is because I didn't do the piece in its entirety. So this is an exclusive stitch by Mojo Stitches, and it is an Ort tray. Now, as you can see, let me show you mine first of all. So this is my fully finished Ort tray. And I'll just put the design up side by side so you can see the difference. So I decided not to do the top half of the daisy. I just went with the bottom half. The size of it didn't appeal to me as an Ort tray. Now this is all just, there's no machine stitching in this. And with the kit, it came with all the fabric and also the Cottage Garden threads. And with the calico, we just did lazy daisy stitches randomly on the outside using the same threads. And then there were instructions on how to construct it and then tack it all together as a Ort tray. I don't know whether I'll use it as an Ort tray. I quite like it behind me on my little bee display there. So that's where it's been hanging out until I've been ready to show you. But I don't know whether I would use it as an Ort tray. I don't think I would actually sort of take it with me to retreats and so forth because it is quite large, but very, very happy with that. So I'm just going to pop that back behind me. Now, my favorite finish that I have done, and I am super happy with it, was from the Jingle Ball. Now, I haven't seen many people actually show this one. There's been a lot of the Stacey Nash and I think the Pink Keep book and the Gingerbread House, but I've been watching Flosstube flat out just like everybody else, and I haven't seen anybody else show the Liz Matthews Winter Wonderland Star. So I did this class, all the Cottage Garden, all the Little House Needleworks charts are sliding off. So I completed the Liz Matthews Winter Wonderland Star piece. So this is how it was so it was fully finished and the beaded trim is part of the class. So I did my stitching as soon as I enrolled for the class, and I wanted to have it ready to go, not to do during the Jingle Ball, but to be able to have that inspiration from the Jingle Ball and ready to do it in my own time, which I'm really glad I did have it because I had it all done, because as soon as I saw how to do it, I was raring to go. So I did mine on a Petty Point fabric. I did not want to be stitching all the snowflakes because I don't know many people that do like stitching snowflakes. So I think the Petty Point turned out just as nice there. And I then backed it with some fabric, this really cute reindeer fabric. And I've got a bit of ribbon and a little label where I put my cut in to stuff it. Now this beaded trim looks quite complex, but it was so easy and so much fun to do that this will be a finish that I would one, do a finish again as a star, and two, I would use the beaded trim on another pillow type project because it was not at all hard, and it uses up, these are all beads that I just had in my stash that I had from previous crafting projects. They're so old, like I've probably had them for 10-15 years and never known really what to do with them. So it was great to be able to use something that I had in my stash. Now I just used DMC. I didn't do the called for that Liz had for the flosses. I just picked DMC that I had out that I thought matched well, and I was really quite surprised. When I picked out the green and the gold and the red, I didn't feel like it was going to be Christmassy, but I really, really love how that turned out. And it's got a nice bit of poof to it, and it just sat up beautifully with my rest of my reindeer herd. I don't know, when I was decorating this Christmas and putting all my decor out, I realised I've got a thing for reindeer. And because I collated all my reindeers all together, and I had I really do have a herd of. So moving on to WIPs and what I've been working on. After coming back from the retreat that was in, I think it was in October, the daisy chain retreat, I found I became a bit more of a monogamous stitcher because I wanted to get my first day of Christmas done by Hello from Liz Matthews, which you can see finished just up here. I think it also tends to lead to my summer sort of bee colours as well, so I've left that one out to enjoy because I really love how that came out. So I had sort of abandoned, after coming back from that retreat and I got into more monogamous stitching, I sort of abandoned my challenge groups that I was working on because I was just finding that I was really happy just to be stitching on things that were calling to me. So I thought, no, I'm just going to leave that for the year and just work on what I wanted to work on. So what I did start at the Halloween, no, well, hang on, daisy chain must have been September, and then the A Stitch in Time's Fox and Rabbit Halloween retreat was in October, and I started this one and I did quite a bit of work on this. So this is Liz Matthews' second day of Christmas, and again I'm doing the tree one. Now if you look at the houses down the bottom, Liz has put initials in for hers. I didn't particularly care for that, so I put windows, which I think turned out really sweet. Now, I want all my houses to be, all my trees to be different sizes. So that guy up there, he's 1/1 on 25 count. This is 2/2 on 32 count, and it's on just a linen. This was actually gifted to me, so I don't know where it's from or if it's over-dyed or not, but I love stitching on it. It's just a really nice linen to stitch on, and I am using the called for DMCs in this, which throughout the series they do tend to use, Liz does tend to use quite a lot of the same colours. So I'm really happy with how this guy's turning out, and he is going to be quite much bigger than the one up there. When I've put them up side by side, the smaller one sort of just comes to here. So it's not going to be double, but it will be quite sizably different. So that is the second day of Christmas that I've been working on from Hello by Liz Matthews. I'll just pop that one down there. So that sort of took me with the stitching of the Winter Wonderland star and also the second day of Christmas. That's what I sort of stitched up on predominantly through to Christmas. So with that ending and Bringo starting, I thought I'd give Bringo a go. Not Whip Go, but Bringo. So Bringo is run by Carolyn Zook and Robin from Bird's Eye Stitches. They've been doing it for a little bit, and I've never participated before because I've always had other challenge groups going. So because I'd semi-abandoned those other challenge groups, I thought this might be a good way to touch all of my WIPs over January. Now this is again a bingo board, just like Whip Go. This is what mine looks like currently. So I'm so close, I just need number 3, but it hasn't been called yet. And today I think number 12 got called, I think. I have to double check on that. So same sort of concept, but I don't have 25 WIPs. So we've got, we had Consider the Lilies on there a couple of times, and also Bluebirds of Happiness, which I will show you in just a moment, which has had a lot of work on it. So I've really enjoyed Bringo. It's only 100 stitches, but I tend to pick that particular project up for the day and just keep working, and I'm getting well and truly more than 100 in. So I'm really enjoying just picking up something, not counting, because I just keep stitching and I know that I've done well and truly over 100, and that's really working for me, not having to actually count every stitch, but still sort of having a little bit of influence on what I'm stitching on. So I am going to show you first of all Bluebirds of Happiness, which is in a bag made by myself using an old piece of, well, not old, but a piece of embroidery that I picked up in a frame at a Goodwill shop. I purchased it for the frame, but ended up with this piece of needlework that I couldn't throw out, so I turned it into a bag. Now, oh no, it's not in that one. Bear with me. Bluebirds of Happiness is in my Outlander bag. Okay, so this is the chart. Now these are a series as well, but I'm only doing well, I do have Wisdom as well, but I haven't even started that one. But I chose this one purely because I love the pink blossoms in this. And I'm still undecided if I'm going to put that house in there or turn it more into a birdhouse house. Yeah, it stands out to me as being a little bit odd. But anyway, so this is where I was up to before. And this is where I'm up to now. So I finished off the bird and I've put the whole entire nest in and those cute little blue eggs, and I finished off the word happiness. So now I've got to complete the other bird, then do the tree and the house, depending on what I do on it. Now this linen that I'm working on is a 32 count, but it's actually quite uneven, like very, and I've got a lot of it. Very uneven and it's quite slubby. So I don't know whether I will use this piece or not, but I have enjoyed stitching on the linen, and I've been using the DMC as well. So once again, that's where we're up to with, that's a hanging thread there for a bit of black because that's all I needed just to do the eyes. So I've just held that there for safekeeping. So Bluebirds of Happiness. So that one has had Bringo call 3 times, but it's had well and truly more than 300 stitches put into it. But I don't know how many I did do because I didn't count them. Now, the second piece that I'm going to show you is a piece that I absolutely love. Just love this piece. Excuse me, reaching out of frame. And what I'm going to show you is Kaleidoscope by Laurie Holt. So that is the piece finished, but when in this book, which is actually a patchwork, it's a quilting book, but they give you quite a few different colour combos. My colour combo was inspired by Deb from Country Stitches. When she showed hers on her channel, I literally paused the video, went and purchased the book and had to wait a little bit for the threads because I wasn't real sure what I was going to be using to emulate what Deb had done, but this is where I'm up to and it is stunning. I am so close to, well, I feel like I'm so close to a finish, but I've probably still really got a third to go, but I just love how this is turning out. And this is on a 32 count even weave linen, even weave fabric, and I am using the Valdani threads and 1 DMC. Now, if you use Valdani's, they come in a ball. So I'm going to show you. They come in a ball like this, and they're a 3-ply cotton. I got mine from Crewel Gobelin, but this is how I keep them in my project bag. Is I use these spool huggers, which are designed, people use these on the side of a Q-snap to hold their fabric in place. I will give you a demo just in case you've never seen these before, but a lot of people have. So you would gather your fabric up and tuck it under the spool hugger and then put that around your Q-snap and that would hold it on. Hang on, I'm not doing a very good job of demonstrating that. Let me show you. So hence you've got the fabric. You would fold that over, and that's what I purchased these for because I'd seen other floss tubers use them and they work really well. However, they work even better for these little Valdanis from unraveling in your project bag, and that's more so what they've been designed for anyway, but to have like a normal cotton spool on a spool, sorry, not on a reel. And so I just keep them, well, that one's had some come out, but it certainly keeps them contained in my project bag from unraveling. But how lovely is this piece? It's just, I'm so happy with it. So happy with it. So if you're watching, Deb, thank you for the inspiration because I just love this piece and I cannot wait to get it on my wall. I really can't. It's one of my favourite pieces to work on, and I just love seeing the progress on that. That again is called Kaleidoscope, and it is out of the Kaleidoscope book by Laurie Holt. So the Kaleidoscope is also the name of the quilt. Now, I have had a new start, of course. Who does? Now, this new start was not for New Year's. It was actually a start that I had preempted for Bringo because I needed to have I needed to have a prompt that reminded me of my zodiac. I'm Cancer, and there wasn't really anything, like I didn't have anything seasidey with crabs or anything in it. And then I'm like, well, what colour? Crabs are orange, so what have I got in my stash that was orange? No, I didn't have anything going. And then I looked in my kitted, my kitted bag is projects that are ready to go, got everything in them. And I came across Hello by Liz Matthews. See a bit of a theme happening here. Autumn Cloche. So I am using this one as a prompt for what reminds me of my zodiac is the orange in a crab. And I've got some orange pumpkins in this, and I have had this in my stash for a while and I love it. So I am using DMCs, even though I think it calls for NPIs, but I'm not using that. And here is where I'm up to. Now that looks like a small start. That's taking me a long time. This is 40 count, and I'm doing 1/1 with DMC. And I'm going to bring that in for you. I don't know if you can really see how teeny tiny they are. Now this fabric is sized, ready to go, and that cloche, oh dear. That cloche will go all the way pretty much to the other side of the fabric. So she's a big girl, this one. A very big girl. Let me get this back on the Q-snap. So I don't know if I'm quite crazy doing such a big project, because as you can see, I've only done this tiny little bit in the corner on 40 count. I don't know if I'm crazy or not, but I actually really enjoy working on it. And once you get into, like after probably 10-15 minutes, your eye sort of comes into 40 count. Like this is the first time I've ever done 40 count. I've done 20 count Aida before, but not 40 count linen. So it's, and I beg your pardon, it's 1/2, not 1/1. Yes, 1/2. So it's equivalent to a 20 count. Because I didn't think I should start 40 count 1/1, thank goodness, especially on such a large chart. At first I was a little bit concerned, like the full coverage area, that it was a bit bulky, but no, it actually, once I got some consistency in there and a substantial amount in, then I was happy with it. So that is a Liz Matthews Autumn Cloche. I've also got the butterfly cloche too to do, but again, it's sitting there waiting to be done. Okay, so that's all the whips that I'm going to show you today. I have worked on a lot more because I've been doing the Bringo, but I don't like to show too much in one lot because it gets too much zips and so forth. So I'm going to show you another new start that I've got planned for Bringo. Okay, so this one is inspired by Lisa in Lost in Stitches. She's doing this particular chart as well, and when I saw her doing it on her channel, not that this one is one I could go out and order because it came in a magazine. It came in Cross Stitcher May 2021. So I had to go on a hunt for an old magazine to find this particular chart, and it is called Simple, is it just called Simple Things? Yes, The Simple Things. Actually, let me tell you who also designed it. Oh, it's Emma Condon. There you go. She's Stitch Rovia as well, so if you're familiar with her work. So I was watching Lisa do it, and Lisa had probably only done sort of the top half, and I think that's what I will be doing. I don't think I'll be putting the text in here, but I was thinking about charting a horse to go into the paddock there. I don't know how brave I am with that, but I just loved it. And I don't think sometimes model photos or pictures do things justice, because when I saw Lisa show it, it was just stunning. So I'd like to see your progress again on that, Lisa, if you because you haven't shown it for a little, well, I don't think you've shown it since I've actually saw you do it initially. So what I have chosen for this is a 36 count linen, and it's got some nice mottling on it. Don't know where I will start this as yet. And I had this beautiful hank from Victoria Motto. It's called Rosebud in my stash, and I thought that would look quite lovely. So I'm going to be doing that pinky rosy color on the 32 count. Oh, sorry, 32 or 38? 36 count linen, and I'm looking forward to that. It has not been called yet on my Bringo, and I will be starting, I reckon, up here in the top right, just purely because I want to start from the top down, just in case I don't want to do that, because I quite like just even that part of the chart. So we'll see how we go with that one. So I'm looking forward to doing that. And this is in my vintage cowboy bag, which I just love this one. One of my favorite bags. It's so cute. I must keep an eye out for more. Not that I made this, but I must keep an eye out for sort of vintage bedspreads and doona covers at the op shop, because that makes the cutest project bag. Okay, let's get into this giveaway. So I am going to be giving away my Gently Used, because I'm the second person who's used these. So as I said, these were gifted to me. They were sent to me from a viewer, and I will be now forwarding and passing it on to another viewer. So it's going to be all 9 charts. However, I've only got seven bags, so some of them are double, like there's 2 in 1. Not that you care about that. So, but all 9 projects are in there. So what you need to do is be over the age of 18. I am going to ask you to be an Australian resident to be able to enter this, because postage is just phenomenal at the moment, especially to the US and America and the UK. Actually, I'll include New Zealand. So if you're from Australia or New Zealand and you would like to stitch these Farmhouse Christmas, I want you to use the word farmhouse in a comment. That would be super. So, and then next week, gosh, no, you don't want to see me every week. Next time I do a video, I will announce who is the winner of those. So I reckon I will come back to you, what is it now, mid-January? I reckon I'll come back to you mid-February with a wrap-up of my bingo, potentially another finish that's not too far away. So by mid-February, I might have some direction on where 2025 is going to take me with my stitching, because I don't know. I have not made plans. I have sort of dipped my toe back into my original challenge groups, which is the Daily 30 group, and because they've changed their structure a little bit, which is great, but I don't know if I want to be counting each and every stitch. So I'm more liking doing my timing potentially this year. So if a challenge calls for 2 hours, 3 hours or so forth of stitching, rather than 100, 200, 300 stitches. So we'll see where that takes me. So until I see you next month, I hope you all have a fabulous January. In Australia, we're right in the midst of the middle of summer, so it's quite warm even down here in Tasmania, which is in the southern part of Australia. It's still quite warm. So if you're in the United States, stay warm and stay safe, especially if you're in California. That's, yeah, quite bizarre to see that happening in the middle of winter. That's something we would expect here in summertime, let alone winter, but to that devastation is catastrophic. My heart goes out to anyone who's in that area or that's been affected, or if you've got friends or family that you're worried about in California. So I please everyone stay safe, and I will see you next time. And if you want to hang out and see some horsey videos, that's coming up too. Bye.